This is a Dying to Tell You callback.
Everybody is like, don't worry about the money. Don't worry about, I'm the only one worrying about the money right now. I'm like, you guys, we have to really consider this because everyone's like, we'll do whatever it takes. Slow down.
As I promised a few weeks ago, this week we're checking back in with Amanda. As I said, she's had some developments in her situation, and I wanted her to tell you herself what has happened, how she's feeling about it, and how she's thinking about her next steps. This is Dying to Tell You. Well, Amanda, thank you for coming back, for joining us again. So I know a little bit about what's happened because I follow you on social media, and I imagine a few people who follow me or follow you probably know a little bit about what's going on, but I'm sure there are people who heard your original episode a few weeks ago and did not hear the update. So I want to kind of give you some space just to talk about what has happened since that original episode. And I guess you can just really talk about this last scan and then we can kind of take it from there.
Yeah, so I went to UCSF for my 20th month scan, and I do the MRI, and I don't know why there was something that kind of changed a little bit after I did that one. I kind of almost had this feeling like, uh-oh. And there was nothing to really kind of go off of that. So the MRI was on Monday, and then the results are on Tuesday. And my neuro-oncologist is usually kind of like peppy. And I just could tell something was off. And I just was like...
You mentioned that last time that you would know when you see her.
Yep.
It's a her, yeah, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so she comes in, and the one thing I will say is she didn't immediately say something was different. And so she's talking, and then all of a sudden she goes, and I go, oh, this is the moment that everyone with cancer fears, is that something's different. And so she said, I wanted to let you know, we do see something on your scan. We caught it extremely early. She also said that it was so tiny. It was really, really small. And she said, but you have to have another craniotomy. And I'm thinking, what? And I said, if this is so small, like, why is craniotomy number 2 a thing? And she kind of does her talk, and she said it's very superficial. It's like right at the dura, right at the base of my skull. And also said it was in probably one of the easiest resectable areas possible. My neurosurgeon said my first craniotomy was 8 to 9 hours long. They're anticipating this to be 2 to 3 hours. And they also don't think that I need steroids. So then Dr. Taylor said, as far as craniotomies go, not saying this is as easy as it gets, but this is a fairly not complicated surgery. Mm-hmm. And I think I just froze. And sure. I'm almost a month in, and surgeries in 8-9 days, and I have not unfrozen yet. I mean, I think I'm still in that state of shock right now of what? Solely because I don't feel, if anything, I'm stronger than I've been. I have more endurance than I've had because I'm training for that Mount Everest climb again. Mm-hmm. And so I am floored right now.
Yeah. Right. Right. I don't know enough about glioblastoma
Mhm.
to know. Is it typical for with a recurrence or progression to have a second craniotomy? Is that usual?
Yeah, that's what you hope for. You hope that you have that chance to almost, I wouldn't say a restart, but kind of that you're going to get some time back, that this isn't it. And so a second craniotomy is really a positive thing, I believe. My neuro-oncologist as well as my neurosurgeons, like, again, this is about as easy as it might be for brain surgery. So having the ability to have one is a very positive thing.
When somebody has a recurrence and they have a second craniotomy, what's the typical thing to do after that? Is it
That
just
so that is like the $1,000,000 question.
okay?
So I guess I should back up just a little bit to give you a little more information. So my neuro-oncologist tells me that I have what they're looking at as a recurrence. They said, if the neurosurgeon goes in there, there's a possibility that this is just treatment related or anything else, but they
Something
just,
other than tumor, just like scar tissue or
yep.
some other something in there.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
that's what we're really hopeful for right now. But they said the only way to figure it out is to get the craniotomy. And so I went from my neuro-oncologist's office, and then this girl from UCSF comes in, and I've never seen this lady. And she goes, "Oh, I'm part of the clinical trial team." And I was like, "Wait, what?
Okay.
This is warranting a clinical trial?" Like, because to me, for whatever reason, with my limited knowledge of having glioblastoma for only 20 months, I always thought clinical trial was like the end of the road, like that this is it.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden I get up, and I'm someone almost chronic people pleaser, or I'll just do anything to make people comfortable. And I just told this lady, her name was Laura, and I said, "Can I have a minute? Because I just was told this. Now
Right.
I'm talking about a clinical trial."
Right.
And so I go to the bathroom, or I just excuse myself. I went to the bathroom. I had like I wouldn't call it a panic attack. I just couldn't breathe.
Mm.
And oh my goodness. So I excused myself, needed a moment. The one odd thing is there's another person, there's a guy in my hometown that is at UCSF, and he also has glioblastoma. We've become really good friends. And I knew that he was on this trial. And I go, "Oh, okay," because he had a recurrence. And I heard him out, but in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, no. I mean, there was almost this just strong no. And so when I had to sign the clinical trial paperwork, I kept saying, "This doesn't mean I'm doing it, right? This doesn't mean I'm doing it." And they said, "No, we're just kind of capitalizing on you being physically here. We're going to run blood work, but at any time you can not be on the clinical trial."
Sure, of course.
So I said that probably like 5 or 6 times. All right, remember, I don't know if I want to do this or not. And so I got the blood work, and then we leave San Francisco, and I call my friend who's on this clinical trial. And this man is he's incredibly brilliant. He's very smart. I believe he's a physicist. And when I got him on the phone, he almost couldn't speak well. And I go, ooh, if there was already a hesitation to do this clinical trial, him speaking was the no, the absolute no for me. And so, yeah. So when, to then go back, like essentially when you have a recurrence, your choices are clinical trial, Avastin, or Lumistine, which are all kind of the same. And so what I kind of felt like, and this is not at all what happened, but in my brain, I felt in that moment, it's like, take this clinical trial or die. Like and that's not what was said to me, but that's how I interpret it. Absolutely. So yes, that's your option. If you have a recurrence after standard of care, that those are kind of the only things that are technically currently offered to you when you have glioblastoma.
So I know that you've been talking about looking at alternatives, going to other places for treatment. Have you made any kind of decisions or any like progress in figuring out what you're going to do after the surgery?
Yeah. So the trial that was offered to me was I had to do immunotherapy 2 weeks before surgery, and then I would have to do surgery. I'm just unwilling to do anything before surgery. So that is now leaving clinical trials that don't require surgery. And then there are some advancements with immunotherapies in other countries, which is like Germany, Lithuania, the UK, which are the ones that I'm really heavily considering. But what's so hard is, I mean, if I were to have all the money in the world, the one I would love to go after is $250,000. And that's just year one.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, like, you really have to, I mean, it's crazy because, and also this isn't a for sure, like you're about to,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking, you know, even if you had all the money in the world, or even if you had a disposable $250,000, you're putting all of that into, you know, a medication, a treatment that might work, might not. And even if it works, you don't know what working is really going to look like. How much time could it offer you? Yeah. That's a really difficult place to be.
Oh, and you know what, gosh, bless my parents. Cause I really thought about it. There's 3 options that I'm considering. One is about $100,000. And I feel like that's doable. That's something that like I can do on my own. But anything after that, I would have to borrow out of my inheritance. My parents are still alive. And so, and my parents are like, we will, like, whatever you need, like, we'll put the house. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, no way. Like, there's just, and you know, my poor parents, like, again, I'm the baby of the family. They will do anything for me, but it's like at some point, I don't feel comfortable doing that at all. Sure. You know,
of course.
I was lost till I fell in your eyes. Had me wondering why I feel like home. I hold you close so you're by my side till the end of time. Before we go, will you stay with me? Never leave. You walked into my life and I am glad you came. Glad you came. When you're not around, I've been broken. Glad you came. Glad you came. Glad you came.
From the outside looking in, I think a lot of people would say, well, whatever it takes, you know, money shouldn't be a thing when you're talking about saving a life.
Yeah.
And we don't know what saving a life looks like. We don't know that it's going to be effective. And the reality is, even if you get another 5 or 10 years,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you still have to live with having spent all that money on that. And, if somebody else is spending the money on it, everybody has to live with the financial realities of what happens
Absolutely.
right afterwards.
Totally.
Yeah. And so I think even in the moment when you're terrified about something like this, it's easy to go, whatever, just do whatever.
Absolutely.
But in your calmer moments, when you have a minute to think about it, there's realities that everybody has to live with after the fact. And that's a really hard thing to kind of wrap your mind around.
Yeah. The one wild thing is my mom and my dad and everybody is like, don't worry about the money. I'm the only one worrying about the money right now. I'm like, you guys, we have to really consider this, because everyone's like, we'll do whatever it takes. Slow down. Let's really contemplate this one. And so the one place in Germany, which is kind of the one that I wanted to go, there's a decent amount of people probably with GBM that know these 3 places.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're not giving away secrets now. So
or helping. Hopefully I'm helping.
Yeah.
So the DC Vax was a clinical trial out of UCLA in 2004, which was incredibly successful. There's still the red tape. They know that it is very effective against GBM, but it takes 10 to 20 years to push something through, which is insane. So I would have to go to the UK to get this treatment as compassionate care, because essentially I would pass away if this wasn't a thing. Mm-hmm. And that's the one that's about, after 2 to 3 years is about $250,000. That's in the UK. Then there's a place called, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Sagat, Germany. And a lot of people with glioblastoma go to this place. The only unfortunate thing is, from your surgery and when Germany gets your tissue sample, the time between that and getting your first vaccine in Germany, because you have to go to Germany for care, is 4 months. And 4 months when you have glioblastoma is like a lifetime.
Yeah.
So then
it might be your lifetime, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And then the other one is I think it's called IZOK. It's IZOK. It's more blood related. So there's almost like a faster turnaround time to get the vaccine or whatever they create. So those are kind of the options that I'm pursuing. And I know if other people in glioblastoma are listening to this, they know exactly about these things for sure.
Okay. So how will you decide what to do?
I'm honest, God, I am praying for a miracle right now. I am praying for, they get in there and they're like, oh, it's just
nothing.
tissue. Because it could, sure. I feel everybody who's ever had cancer is praying for that miracle, or they can say that it's benign, right? There is something there, but we do have to get it analyzed, and that it could be, just a benign tumor mixed in with maybe some radiation necrosis or anything.
Sure. Yeah.
So it is definitely going to come down to what I feel comfortable with financially. And I'm also not excluding clinical trials that make sense for me. There's not a lot out there, but there's a couple. But another problem is most of the time the tumor comes back the same. So that it has the same markers, the same everything. Sometimes it can change. It can change in your favor, or it can not change in your favor at all. To be honest, I have almost all the hallmark fast-growing glioblastoma markers. So I have kind of the harder ones. So It would be just like up from there if they changed.
Okay.
So there are some clinical trials that are targeting, it's called EGFR, which kind of is a promoter, and it can sometimes make a tumor come back a little bit faster. I do have that marker. And so going on a trial specifically for that would make sense, but not what was kind of handed to me was a clinical trial that is successful in bladder cancer. And I'm thinking, why are we wasting our time? Doesn't make, and so you have to just be really smart, or some people could just go like, I'm just going to listen to my team and whatever they say is what I should do. But I have almost gone against my team this whole time. And there's some empowerment in there, but then there's also the fear of, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Should I just listen to them? Yeah. But in my heart, that's a no. It is really a no. And especially with my friend having the complications that he's had in the same trial. And we're both the same age. We're both 44. And yeah, it was just a no.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one thing with surgery, I will say, I didn't have time to think about surgery last time. My personality is like almost like rapidly changing in the sense of, as you know, like I love hiking and being outdoors. True story. I went out for a walk because I'm like, I need to get some fresh air. I have this baby hill that I have to climb to get home from the beach. My heart started pounding. Like any type of exertion right now that makes me feel like there's an adrenaline rush happening. Oh my gosh, I almost have like borderline panic attacks. And I'm thinking, holy moly. And it's progressing right now. Even this morning, I have this sweet little black cat, and I was just in the kitchen because I said, okay, remember, you were having a hard time on the walk, so maybe take the walk later in the day so your cortisol is not up. I played with my little cat in the kitchen, did it again, and I'm thinking, holy moly, like my nervous system is like shot right now.
Just off the charts. Right.
It's next level.
Of course.
It's next level. And so I definitely am just going through it right now.
On edge.
For sure.
You're very smiley. And so I think it would be easy to go, well, she's doing just fine. No. I know. But would you say that you're nervous, scared, sad? Well, I mean, how would you characterize?
All of the above. It's almost like it hasn't let up in the sense of I will just be kind of going about my day and I will just have that like wave of anxiety, wave of panic, wave of like sadness to think, I knew that this day was inevitable. Like I truly knew this day was inevitable, but to hear it out loud is, I think I went into shock and then I kind of stayed in somewhat of a version of a shock. And I'm hopeful that I get out of it before surgery. Because, I'm also thinking like, oh my gosh, what is this doing to my body right now? I'm probably the most stressed I've ever been. I cry at like the drop of anything right now. Or if my parents ask questions like, oh, how are you doing? And not good at all. I'm scared. And I just keep thinking like, what am I doing for myself right now in the sense of being so scared, being so terrified, being just so nervous about that craniotomy. I think there's like part of me is like, oh my gosh, like what if I don't wake up? And I never thought about that last time. I don't, again, I think because I didn't have this time to reflect or anything, but
Well, you also really didn't know what you were. I mean, it was so soon after
so
diagnosis,
fast.
right? And now you have learned a lot more about what glioblastoma is and what a craniotomy is. Like, it's just, there's a lot more information, which, you know, I think empowers some people, and also can be terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, and it is. Like, it is. I've been really mindful with what I'm listening to, what I'm talking. Like, my house is very quiet right now. Very quiet, like almost very, not somber, but kind of somber. And it is just a really, really quiet house. So I think what's happening is, I have so much time to internally think. Worst case scenario, best case scenario. And then you don't want to get too hopeful. So then you kind of stick in the worst case scenario, you know? And I'm like, what is happening? Usually I'm the other side. And now I'm like, here are all the things that can go wrong. And I'm, for the most part, like fixating on that. And I just thinking, like, you love your surgeon. You know how incredible he is. You know, you have 3 anesthesiologists. Like, hopefully one of them's paying attention. And so I know this, it's so bad, but I think about that.
They're all going to be paying attention, I promise.
So it's really wild to get in your own head, because I'm usually not so, I'm halfway realistic, halfway very optimistic. But right now it's like worst case scenario, trying to be midline right now. And I'm hopeful to get on the other side of that for sure. I like talking to you right now and like saying it out loud. That's probably where the smiles and the joy is coming. It's like, I'm saying this out loud to someone who's listening, and not in my own head trying to make the worst case scenario happen. Yeah.
I've talked to several people recently about how when there is uncertainty and unknowns, our brains are really good at filling in the answers, and we don't fill in the answers with all the things that could go right, because you don't have to plan or worry about things that go right. You have to worry and plan for things that are going wrong. And so it's totally normal to think of all the bad things that can happen. And I don't have a fix for you, but you know, I get it. I understand that it is so easy just to make up a story about everything bad that's going to happen or that could happen. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't said it to you. I'm sorry. This is happening.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's I like you said, it's something that you knew at someday would come, and it felt like, I mean, I'm not there living it with you, but it felt like to me, like we were in a place, right? Where it's just going to be okay for a while. Yeah. And it was okay for a while, but it seems like it came sooner than what you thought, and certainly sooner than you'd hoped. So I'm sorry that you're going through it, but I am confident you will get through this, this craniotomy. You've done it before.
Yeah.
And you've got a good surgeon and 3 anesthesiologists that are all going to pay attention, I promise. So, I am sorry. And I'm hopeful that whatever you find to do on the other side is going to be effective, and that you've got more time. So I don't want to keep you too long, but is there anything else that you want to say or that you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I will say that there's a guy named Adam who just passed away from glioblastoma. He I believe lived 8 to 9 years with it. And he kind of coined this phrase about the glioblastoma world. And it's a family that you never wanted to be in, but when you're in it, it's just the best family in the world. And I have made a community of people with glioblastoma just almost immediately. And I will say every single person that I reached out to in the GBM world, oh my gosh, they are the reasons why I made so many decisions. And mostly they are the reasons why I made the no's, that no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do this. And if anyone is listening in the GB, I mean, probably any cancer has the same story.
I imagine.
Those people are pivotal. And I sincerely cannot thank them enough for their time and their expertise. And they're just like guidance, because they know what it's like to be on the other side. They know their family members living with it. They're living with it. And I am forever thankful for this community. And I mean, again, it's like not a community you want to be in, but when you're in it, you're just like open arms forever. Yeah. So thank you to anyone listening. But again, it's probably as every cancer has that same story.
Yeah, I imagine that's true. Yeah. Well, thank you for taking time to let people know what's going on. I'll be thinking about you. And sending you all my hopes.
Thank you.
And let us know what happens and what you decide, where you're going to go. Maybe we can do this from Germany.
Yeah. Yes. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would be great. Yeah.
That'd be
Okay. All right. Well, I know time is precious, and I appreciate you being generous with it. So
thank you. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
As we all know, time is precious, especially when facing one's own mortality. So I appreciate Amanda being willing to spend time talking with me. By the time this comes out, Amanda will be through her second craniotomy. I hope you'll join me in wishing her a good recovery and clarity of mind as she decides on her next steps for treatment. If you want to follow her on social media, you can find her at The Amanda Melby on Instagram or Amanda K. Melby on TikTok. As always, thank you to the producer, Chris Rock. What a gift it is to do this work with you. On a personal note, as I'm recording this, my Uncle Jesse is coming to the end of his life, so I want to honor his life and the loss that I and all of my family will feel. I also know that this loss will be particularly hard for my mom. So Mom, I'm sorry and I love you. Thank you all for listening. Hold your people close. Life is precious and shorter than we realize. This is Dying to Tell You.